joining us. Let's turn to the Middle East now, where the United States and Iran appear cautiously optimistic as high-level nuclear talks continue in Oman. Iran says Washington is pushing for a deal as soon as possible, while the White House describes the meeting as positive and constructive. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi, who met briefly with US Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, said both sides came very close to a basis for negotiation and warned against dragging talks out. Speaking aboard Air Force One, US President Donald Trump called the discussions okay, but added that nothing matters until you get it done. Both sides communicated through Oman's foreign minister, but reportedly exchanged direct words for a few minutes. Both nations say the tone was respectful. Iran, under economic strain, is eager to ease sanctions, while the US hopes to prevent Tehran's nuclear escalation. Abbas Araghchi also confirmed that the US and Iran will meet again next Saturday for a second round of nuclear talks. Discussions will remain high level, with Oman hosting, though the venue may change. Let's have a look at what he said after the meeting.
جلسه من فکر می‌کنم به مبنای مذاکراتی خیلی نزدیک شدیم و اگر در جلسه آینده بتونیم مبنا رو قطعی بکنیم فکر می‌کنم که بخش زیادی از راه رو رفتیم و میتونیم بر اساس اون مبنا گفتگوهای واقعی رو. نه ما و نه طرف مقابل خواهان یک مذاکره بی حاصل، به اصطلاح گفتگو برای گفتگو، اتلاف وقت، مذاکرات فرسایشی اصلا نیستیم و هر دو طرف آمریکایی هم گفتند که اونها هم مطلوبشون یک توافقی هست که در کوتاه‌ترین زمان به دست بیاد، ولی خب این کار آسانی هم قطعا.
We are now joined by Dr. Punsawa Amara Singh, Koltawala Defence University, located in Colombo, to discuss this further. Thank you very much. Dr. Amara Singh, how would you describe this meeting and why would you say it's so significant? And what would be the ideal solution for Donald Trump, as he puts it, to get this deal done? What do both sides want to get out of this deal?
Well, I think first and foremost, this meeting facilitated by Oman is not a Sputnik moment as everyone assumes to be, because we know for a fact Trump is by nature unpredictable, and at the same time the Iranian regime seems to have been compelled by the circumstances that it encompassed for past 18 months to enter this agreement. If you just look at the geopolitical tension which is going on in the Middle East, Iran has been severely hit hard by the Americans and its allies. The Houthis are being targeted. Iranian economy is in the havoc. So Iran seems to have no other options except joining this deal for the moment. But what strikes me the most is that the discussion and the resolutions coming from this discussion seems to be quite weak. Of course, on his travel on the Air Force One, the President Trump has stated that I don't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon. It can go prosperous, it can be extremely great, but I don't want it to have a nuclear weapon. If it chooses to have a nuclear weapon, there would be consequences, which means that America would opt for the preemptive strikes in attacking the nuclear facilities of Iraq. So in that context, there is a kind of a deterring sign. So that is why Tehran has entered the deal. But at the moment, thus far, we have no clue about what is going to emerge from this discussion. The Saturday's deal was kind of an appetizer, right? So they have not yet been able to reach a meaningful resolution or a solution through this discussion, which is something yet to come. And I hope that they would opt for something like what Obama administration did in 2015, which intended to be much more productive. But at the moment, the President Trump seems to be only more rhetorical, saying that he would not allow Iran to emerge as a nuclear nation.
Dr. Amara Singh, what do you think of the communication between the two countries? Obviously, we saw threats, we saw Truth Social posts before, we saw the matter of direct talks or indirect talks. During this meeting, we saw them, the two countries exchange through the foreign minister, but then at the end, we saw direct communication between the two countries. What do you make of this communication between the diplomats from the United States and Iran?
Well, I think from a very optimistic point of view, that seems to be quite a good move, because this Saturday's meeting seemed to be the first meeting initiated by the Trump's administration since 2015. So as a matter of fact, for past 10 years, both the countries have not have had a single meeting with each other. So this should be taken in good spirit. But I would say that they would go ahead with certain resolutions. But I mean, as the previous commentator who spoke a moment ago clearly stated, that Trump is by nature unpredictable. Even the Trump's move must have been a shocking reaction for the Israelis, who would not like such a dealing between Washington and Tehran. Well, as a matter of fact, that Israelis would always prefer a harder way, kind of, the militant way in terms of dealing with Tehran. But I would say that this meeting of Saturday should be just taken as an initiative moment before proceeding to much more constructive dealing in the days to come.
Dr. Amara Singh, thank you very much for joining us. We once again move on, continuing with the Middle East. Israel's